Welcome to Coach's Corner, everyone. Thanks for watching the show. I'm your host, Paul Tripoli. Coach Tripp to my players who had 20 years on the field, 20 years of playing on the field as well, so 40 years in football. Sharon, now I'm just going to talk about it. We have a special guest, Sharon Hall. Thanks for coming on the show, Sharon.
It's great to be here.
Oh, my gosh, 1984 graduate. So, gosh, I think we're in the same class. I got there in 1980. Did you get there to Alabama in 1979?
I came in 79 and was pre-med until I ran into calculus, and then I had to change directions. Stick with English.
Oh, Sharon is a big fan of Bama, and she actually tutored a lot of football players. Did you tutor other students, Sharon, or was it just athletes or football players?
Everybody in the athletic department could show up. And some people tried to get me to tutor their girlfriends that went to other schools. And I'm like, no, if they don't carry a ball here in some fashion, I can't help them. Unless it's personally, and then I'm going to have to charge them. So no freebies, I'm afraid.
Well, let's go back to the early beginnings where you grew up. You grew up in Tuscaloosa. You're actually born there in Tuscaloosa. Was it at Druid City Hospital?
Oh, yeah. In Druid City, and was raised. We didn't even keep blue and orange Christmas lights on our tree for Auburn. We took them off.
So talk about those early years that mom and dad were big Alabama fans. I guess they kind of grew up. They kind of grew up with Coach Bryant there, right? In 1958.
Oh, I used to follow him around town before stalking was invented. It was just so bad. I knew Mr. Varner by name.
Billy Varner, for you that don't know out there, folks, Billy Varner was his right-hand man, driver, assistant, security guard, just Slash. I guess we could have called Billy Varner Slash because he wore so many hats.
Oh, he did. And he was really sweet after Coach Bryant died and he went back to working for the police force there. He pulled me over in the middle of the night going 25 around the library. I said,
oh, my gosh, did he really?
I said, look, the speed limit's 15. If I take my foot off the gas, it's going to go 25. And it's just me and you. Can you cut me a break? He goes, sure.
He was a great guy, man. I got to talk to him. Everybody, he was well loved. Those are some of the fun stories. Okay, so you were born same year I was, 1961. Of course, that was Alabama Coach Bryant's first national title game. The captains were Billy Neighbors, okay, a three-generation family of football players. Mm-hmm. Billy and I played with his son, Wes. Billy Neighbors and Pat Trammell. Did you know, and you probably do because you're such a Bama fan, did you know Pat Trammell was Coach Bryant's favorite player?
Yes, of course. We all have heard how much he loved him and how hard he took it when he passed from cancer. It was a really sad story. But my dad went to school with Billy Neighbors, to high school in that area. He knew Sid and Billy and Miss Mary.
Oh, wow.
He knew everybody in Tuscaloosa County.
Oh, my God.
That's why I could never get in trouble. He'd find out about it from somebody.
It was a small town back then.
It was. Not so much anymore.
No, not so much. I don't even recognize it. I coached and ran my radio show live for 10, 12 years. And so I didn't have many weekends free to go up Tuscaloosa. And when I went back a few years ago, started going back again, I didn't even recognize it. It's
unbelievably huge. Even the campus is so large. If I don't stick to what was there when I was there, I get lost.
That's 61 team, okay? And then I think they went 11-0, beating Arkansas. They won 10-3. They beat Auburn 34-0, but their defense only gave up 25 points all year, 6 shutouts that year.
Coach Bryant called them his tiny giants because they weren't the biggest people on earth, but they didn't know that.
Oh, they didn't.
They played like they were much larger.
You know what I noticed, Sharon, about playing for Coach Bryant is that he can measure a player's heart more so than other coaches can.
Yeah. He knew people.
Yeah, he knew your psyche before. He knew. He just had so much gosh, so much wisdom and experience. My one and only meeting with him, I was going into my third year. This is kind of exemplifies what Coach Bryant was really like. I was going into my third year at Alabama, and I went through like 250 practices, over 500 workouts before I even dressed. So I wasn't I wasn't the straight A's, straight laced kid who didn't drink or smoke. I wasn't that type of player, but they were all over Alabama. They had a big influence on me. Well, I got in trouble a little bit, and my roommate was doing stuff that he shouldn't have been doing. And so I get a call in the summertime. I was working in the freezer at nighttime, and I get a call from Coach Ken Donahue. You know Coach Donahue.
Oh, yeah. He was a great defensive mind.
He was. So he calls me up and said, Paul, we don't have any room in Bryant Hall for you. You're going to have to move out. So I thought I was in trouble, going to get kicked off the team or something. So I was just going to go through the motions. I hadn't even dressed for a game in 2 years. So I go down there. First day of practice, the manager comes in the walk-on freshman locker room. And I still wasn't in the varsity locker room after 2.5 years. I was still in. So he comes in there and says, Coach Bryant wants to see you. And I went,
oh, Lord. I've had it now.
I got in trouble again, or I'm kicked off, or he doesn't want me on the field anymore. All those bad things were going through your head, right? Everybody was scared of Coach Bryant. So I go up there, Sharon, and he says 3 sentences to me, and he blows me away with everyone. He says, Paul, did you find a place to stay? And I was taken aback, right? And I was like, oh, yes, sir. I've got an off-campus apartment. I'm fine. And he goes, good. He says, I hope this doesn't affect the way you play on the field. And
That's a good thing.
Whoa. Yeah, I was taken aback again, Sharon. I was like, how does he notice me, 140 guys out there? And I haven't done anything for this man. I've never played it down for him, right? And he leans over his desk. What's a kid to say? You know what I said? I said, no, sir, it's not going to affect the way I play, even though it would have, right? Even though he knew my psyche better than me. And Sharon, he leans over that desk, and I'm sitting in that couch that's in the Bryant Museum. And he looks at me and he says, I didn't think it would. And I'm like, gosh, are you kidding me? That just transformed my whole life. You
would have jumped through the wall for it.
Oh, man, yeah, exactly. And then I started, and then I made the travel team, and I called up my parents and my brothers and all my friends. I said, man, I finally made the team after 3 years, right? So we go to Georgia Tech. In the first quarter, my buddy's saying, Coach Bryant's calling your name. And I went, no way. He called me Tripodi the first couple of years. I don't know if he knows my name. He says, get over there. Coach Bryant wants you. So he says, Coach Bryant says, get in for Stan Gay. And I looked at him and I said, now? Get your ass in. But that's the kind of guy he was. He would test you. He would back you. He had empathy. He cared for you. He knew what you were doing on the field. You just had to pay the price. You just had to wait a lot of time back then. Man, that was so let's go back to the tutoring when you were tutoring, okay? You tutored a couple of my teammates, I'm sure, especially Kurt Jarvis. So he came back and got a degree, right? Bobby Humphrey was one. You said Bobby Humphrey is one of your favorite.
Yeah, Bobby was a sweet guy. Despite being so popular and well known in the media, he did not have the big head, or at least he didn't with us, because we didn't put up with the big head for one thing. We would find a way to bring you back down to earth. But he was a sweet guy. He was receptive. He put us on his family pass list when we were going over to play Mississippi State in Starkville one year when he was injured and his family wasn't coming. He was just going. He couldn't play. And we got there and they didn't have us on the list. And I said, by dang, we didn't drive all the way over here to go back home. So I walked around to that little field house and got the bus driver. I said, can you get Bobby Humphrey out here for me, please? And I said, Bob, they're not letting us in. He said, do you have some paper? So he wrote, please let Lisa and Sharon in. And I said, I don't know if this is going to work or not. But we went around to the gate and I said, see, Bobby Humphrey has written us this note. And they let us in. And now you have to be strip searched to come in. But I get in with a note from
my
Bobby.
God. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's a
Yeah.
great story, Sharon. Yeah, thanks
Those are
for sharing
different
that.
times.
Yeah, we all needed tutoring. Gosh, I probably did. You may even tutored me in the past. I don't know. Kurt Jarvis. I went back to school because I had for like 4 business courses to take to get my
Right.
business degree. So after I got done playing pro football in '89, I came back and finished my degree. But was that when Kurt came back too? Kurt Jarvis came back in '89.
I was out of graduate school. No, it was in the 90s.
Was it?
Yeah, it was in the
So you went
90s.
to?
I was working in a record store in the old mall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how I tell time as music and football.
Yeah, the mother of my children worked at the Limited, the ladies' clothing store.
Yeah, that was in the
Dana
new
worked up
mall.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
now
Wow. All
most
right.
of that is gone.
So Kurt, they're both great guys. I've had both of them on the show before, but
Yeah, I've
Kurt,
seen them.
Kurt's a great story. I mean, him and Mike Shula roomed together.
Yeah, I scared Mike one night in study hall. I was leaving. It was really late, and I was going to the parking lot, and I heard the door to the outside go squeak. So I stopped on the landing because anybody could open the door. And I had my umbrella back like that when he came trotting around the corner, and he went, ah! I said, I know who you are. I tutor your roommate. Mike said, well, you scared me. I said, you scared me first, but I didn't scream. I was standing here waiting for you. But he was a really sweet boy. And I ran into him a couple times in Tampa after at the grocery store.
Mike's a beautiful person, man.
Yeah, he's a really nice person. I said, I'm not going to hurt you because Kurt would probably tear me limb from limb if I did something to you. But Kurt was like a huge little brother to me.
Mike was a big city boy from Miami, and Kurt was as country as you could get.
Country as they get from Gardendale.
Yeah, odd couple just fit together perfectly. They were roommates for like 3 years. Yeah, they were so different, but they were roommates for like 3 years. All right, so who are some of the other athletes that you enjoy tutoring, or you can change the names to protect the guilty if you want.
Rory Turner was one of my very favorites.
Was he?
Rory is good people. He has a big heart. He lives here on the other side of Atlanta. So I hear from him from time to time on Facebook and other things. One year it was snowing and I was kind of landlocked, and he emailed me and said, "Are you out playing in the snow?" I said, "I'm too old to play in the snow. I'll break a hip, Rory." But he was having a good time. He always had a wide-eyed approach to the world, and he was just so much fun to work with.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. What's his famous quote? "I waxed the dude."
Yeah, that was something he would say. I was there for that game, and I couldn't have been happier for him.
I was so thankful. I was lucky enough to be captain of that game. Me and Mike White, my teammates. Yeah. So that was one of the greatest thrills. Game. Yeah, that was one of the greatest thrills. And matter of fact, Freddie Robinson. I had Freddie Robinson, one of our cornerbacks, in that game on the show, and they lined up for that 43-yard field goal. We're beating them 17-15, and Freddie and I were arguing over who was going to rush the kick. And I said, "Freddie, I'm a senior, the captain. Get your ass over on the other side." He was a sophomore. He was a sophomore. Oh, if I didn't have such short arms and fingers, I'd have got it, but he did pull it left. So it was laying on the ground. I was just like, wow, looking at that ball go left. And it was quite a game. All right, so what are some other great Bama games that you remember, or maybe even saw on TV?
I was there for just one of the golden eras. We might not have won as many championships as we did under Saban or earlier in Coach Bryant's career, but there were some very meaningful games that we played, especially during Coach Bryant's final years. Mm-hmm. I was there for 315 and 323, which fittingly enough was against Auburn. And I was there for Van Tiffin's The Kick, and he was one of my students. And I love Van. He's
Oh,
such
was he 85?
a,
Yeah.
and I'm leaning there going towards the ball, ball, go. And it seemed like it took 900 years to cross that thing. I was so happy. I used to ask him to come to my classes when I was teaching in the English department, because I would ask somebody to come, let the kids interview him so they could write a comparison contrast paper about their day as a student and the day of a student athlete, because I was trying to raise awareness of what it was really like, because fans don't know. A lot of the
fans
people
do
in the
not know.
stands have no idea how the sausage gets made. And Van said, I can't do that. They'll all be looking at me.
Yes,
I said,
Van. Oh, yeah.
Thousands of people look at you every Saturday. He goes, but I don't know they're there. It's just me, the ball, and the goal. I said, all right, you're off the hook. So I took Howard Cross.
That's a great
Howard
story.
Loved it.
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah.
My gosh. Yeah, Van,
Sharon,
Van wouldn't say shit if he had a mouthful, man.
He would not. And I took up for his son when he was playing. I was sitting there in front of this old man that said, that son of a bitch can't kick that ball. And I turned around and I said, that's my grandson. And he went, I said, I would appreciate it if you would let him try to kick the ball. And if he can't make it, maybe we can get you dressed out in time to go try.
Oh my gosh, I love that, Sharon. Yeah, Van was something else. If I remember correctly, he never missed an extra point.
You could count on Van.
You could count on Van. That's 50 some yarder and the kick in 1985.
He was a lot like Peter Kim. He never missed. He just never missed.
He never missed. It was automatic when
he was so
we
focused.
were. When we got, he was just, well, he's so calm, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Kickers are a total different breed than they are regular football players. You can't get the adrenaline going, right? Kickers can't do that because it's all fine motor skills, and it's almost like a golf swing, right? You know, I can't play golf.
He didn't know anybody else was alive but him at that moment.
That's true.
He couldn't talk to 25 kids.
Can't talk to 25 kids. Yeah, Carrie Good and I talk about that subject, public speaking, on Monday nights once in a while. And some people, he even said that more people are afraid of speaking in public than they are of dying.
I don't see what's so scary, I guess. I got over it. Once I got to the university, I decided I could say things to people. And I haven't shut up since.
Are you still going to games?
I don't get to go as much as I want to. When my father was alive, he had some of the best seats in the house because he had a barbecue restaurant and he knew people everywhere, and he knew people in the athletic department. He could pull up right before kickoff and the police had a spot for him to park. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wow. I went to school here twice and kept people eligible, and they don't know me from Adam's house cat. How do you do that? And then he let me know that he had in total 14 season tickets, which I was not getting the benefit of. I said, I get to put you in the nursing home of my choice. You need to think about this.
Where did you get your sense of humor from? Your mother or your father?
I think I got it from my granddaddy.
Oh, okay.
He helped raise us, he and my grandmother, and he was a jolly person, loved playing jokes on people and cracking jokes, and he was just a mess. He had
a great demeanor, right? He had a great demeanor.
Yeah. He was a pistol. You didn't get up from the supper table and come back because he would run a hot pepper around the rim of your iced tea glass or something like that. You had to watch him. I don't do that.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen the movie or the documentary / Nothing But a Winner?
I haven't seen it yet. Because
yet is the operative word.
Yeah, I would like to see it. I'm scared it will disappoint me because so many of those things do. Yeah. It doesn't, like the book.
No. Yeah, I know the
Last
book.
Coach is the best book I've ever read about Coach Bryant.
I concur. I think I remember you mentioning that one time. That is the best book that I've ever read. I've read like 10 of
Alan
them.
Barra loves Coach Bryant the way that y'all did and the way that I did. He
Does he?
loves
Did he
him.
really?
Yeah, and it shows. And the part where he describes his passing, oh my God, it made me cry like a baby. I still can't see Coach Bryant on the big screen before the game without crying. I miss him so much.
Gosh. Oh my gosh! I know
Yeah,
we all
so I'm
we all do too.
always scared that some of those books or movies won't do him justice,
Well,
or
I'm
won't
not
do
going
the
to.
guys justice. So
Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. And you're
good.
right. And you're. I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but Sylvester Croom tears up when they talk about Coach Bryant's death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you're right. The movie, even the Junction Boys in the movie The Bear, that none of them did him justice.
No.
We all felt that walking out of that theater that night.
They made him seem like a jerk.
They made him seem like a jerk, and he was just the opposite of a jerk. He couldn't stand jerks. He couldn't stand toxic people. He didn't like negativity. He didn't like any of that. Oh my gosh!
I was talking to Vernon Wilkinson about being recruited by Coach Bryant, because I think Vernon was the last player of his to still be playing, and he was one of my roommate tutored him, and so did I, and he took special interest in us. He let us joke around with him, which most guys were terrified of him.
Yeah.
Vernon
and Rory, you're right, Sharon. They were
Coach Bryant would call the house, and he said, I would say, "What you want, old man?" I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Why did you do that?" And he said, the first team meeting after he came to campus, he was there late accidentally, and Coach Bryant gave him the dirty look. And after that, he came late on purpose. And Coach Bryant had somebody come and take him by the hand like a little child and walk him to the meeting. I said, "You jerk." I said, "He saw something in you, Vernon, or he would not have let you stay."
Right, exactly. He saw something. You're so right about that, Sharon. He had that innate ability to see things in people that they couldn't see in themselves.
I said he would have, if he hadn't seen something in you, he would have run you off there the next time you showed up late. Best believe it.
You're exactly right. Just like the time he cut my roommate from the tower because he was out of shape before practice even started.
No, you couldn't do
Tommy Wilcox or Walter Lewis, both of them remember that story. I loved it because
Tommy.
He was not a great roommate, Sharon. He was not fun to have as roommate. So I was Sharon, everybody else was like, ooh, what did Coach Bryant do? Oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah.
One of my guys had a roommate who didn't last at Bama. He didn't like to take a bath, apparently. And he stank something horrible. So the guys picked him up and put him in the shower and gave him a bath over his clothes. And he packed it up and left after that.
That might have been my roommate. All right, we won't go any more of that. All right, let's talk about Coach Bryant quotes. We're gonna end it that way because we both loved him so much. This is a good one that's always been a favorite of mine. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and guts between dreams and success. Wow, that's for anything, but especially if you're passionate about it.
Yeah. He kept me going. He didn't know what a mentor he was to me as a little girl. He showed me that you could come from humble circumstances and be somebody. And when I wouldn't say boo to a ghost when I was a kid, but he was on the country music radio station next door to where my grandma was getting her hair done. So I went and waited for him. And she was shocked. And he came out and he goes, "Little lady, I hear you've been waiting for me." I said, "Yes, sir, Coach. I've been waiting." And he goes, "Well, I hope it was worth it."
That sounds just like him. Yeah, I can hear him saying that.
He was very sweet to me.
Man, he was so kind. He used to say, matter of fact, that's another one of his quotes that I haven't even written down, but I've got them all over. It doesn't cost anything to be kind.
It doesn't.
And I thought, my gosh, poor Coach Bryant is so right. but he's not familiar with narcissists. All right. All right. So all you have to do to get players to play hard for you, and I used this when I was a coach, Sharon. I used it a lot when I was a coach, and it works. All you got to do, he said 3 things. You guys have a great game. Give all the credit to the players. You win close games. You share the credit. You lose games. You take all the responsibility.
That's right, and he did that.
He did that
every Sunday on his show.
Yep,
every Sunday he did that.
And then during the week he'd talk about expect the unexpected, and he called it sudden change. That's what he called it, sudden change. Because things happen. Ready. Yeah, things happen in a game where the turnover or something. Don't be bitching and complaining. You just better be in the moment. And
right.
Anyway, have you called your mama today? I sure wish I could call mine.
That breaks me up because he ad-libbed that line. He loved his mother, and he and she kept that farm going.
Yes,
his dad had problems.
Dad had physical problems, right?
I have a quote of his on my wall up here. If you believe in yourself and have dedication and pride and never quit, you'll be a winner. The cost of victory is high, but so are the rewards.
Atta girl, Sharon. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. I wish I had that on my wall. Yeah, you're right. That's a beautiful saying. He came up with so many. He was original. Now we say something, and when I was a coach, I wasn't very smart. I wasn't a great X's and O guy. I wasn't. I just knew how to learn from other great coaches, and apply what they did. I didn't reinvent the wheel. All right. The fourth quarter pledge, he even started that.
Yep, I still stick my fingers up.
I've read that story a couple times. Was that in Alan Barra's book, The Last Coach?
I'm not sure. I haven't read it in a couple of years. I have an autographed copy that my brother got me because Alan was in Tuscaloosa signing books, and my brother had no idea I'd read the book. He goes, "I bet my sister would like that." I said, "Yeah, I'm crazy about it."
Oh my gosh! Yeah, he had so many quotes, and I still can't believe how lucky to be an Alabama fan we are, because we got the 2 greatest coaches in the history of college football. What are the odds of that? They're got to be astronomical, because there's like 300 Division I football teams.
Coach Saban is a lot like Coach Bryant. They have the same basic philosophies about work and discipline. And people now are saying, well, I can't get them to play for me. I'm like, I don't know. I think he would have found a way.
I think so too. I think he would have found a way. Otherwise, he would have got rid of them. He didn't play around with all that. He was
like,
not
really, because they did what I told them to do. If I can do it, so can you.
He played hurt. He played. Oh my gosh, we could go on and tell stories. Anyway, thanks for coming on the show, Sharon. I really appreciate you.
It's been fun.
Who do you think would be a good? Who do you think would be a good guest to have on the show? Vernon or Rory Turner, somebody like that?
Rory might be.
Van Tiffin
Vernon is unable to give interviews. He's incarcerated.
Vernon is?
Yeah, and I haven't been down since they moved him to Florida, but I used to go see him all the time when he was in Alabama.
Did you? Yeah. Where is it?
It would mean a lot if people could write to him. I could get you that info. It would be a lot.
Do that for me, would you?
Yeah, he's totally different now.
Do that for me. I'd appreciate that.
I'll do that.
Do that. Yeah, thank you. All right, roll Tide. What do you think? What do you think about this year? We got a good defensive and offensive line, so we're going to be in good shape.
I hope so. I was a little put out with the defense last year. I was like, oh, Lord, you're going to stand there and watch him run by you? We would have had words about that in the study hall room the next day, because they did me a dirty when we were playing Florida one year in Birmingham, and the guys were about ready to go back in to the locker room before the game started, and they lined up in the end zone and did this at Florida. Florida beat us like a brass drum.
Yeah.
And they came to study hall, and I said, how many people in this room participated in that? Don't ever do that again. Don't ever write a check with your mouth that your behind cannot cash.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting you say that because Coach Bryant was a don't promise and
Right.
what he do? Yeah, he would never promise anything like that or he would never say he would never be that brash. The 80s, he knew there was going to be hard times though in the 80s.
Yeah.
After he left, he actually said it.
He
I
did.
read it in Coach Moore's book, Crimson Heart, Coach Mel Moore's book, that he knew they were going to have a dip. And he also knew that the Alabama fans, because their standard was so high, they would not understand and they would just get all over a coach. But we went through, for some tough
That's
years
right.
there. People don't
Uh,
understand. We went through a few tough years.
I really loved Coach Perkins. He loved the guys and wanted to treat them like humans, and I respected that. He wasn't about the press. I don't think the
I
press
love
liked
Coach
him.
Perk. I love Coach Perk too, man. He gave me
He
my
was
chance.
focused.
Oh yeah,
on
he
what
was.
was important.
Oh man, he was a Coach Perk. Don't get me wrong. Coach Perkins was one of the hardest working guys that you
He
would know.
was.
Yeah. He was really hard working. He was really intense, and very competitive. I used to go play golf with him, and he wanted to compete at that, that heavily at that. And there's a lot of good qualities to Perk. But I had him on my show, on my radio show, and he said, "Tripp, I want to let everybody know that if you're going to get into coaching, that you should have a psychology degree or undergraduate or
Yeah, it would help.
because he understood Coach Bryant was a master psychologist, and he wasn't the great. Perk wasn't the greatest at that. He wasn't the greatest at motivating or reading guys, but he understood later on in his career that was critical. So he at least he can self-reflect that. Yeah, I love Coach Perk. All right, well, we could go on for hours.
That tutoring. I know I could talk and talk.
we could talk for hours about Bama football. All right, Sharon, thank you so much.
Sure, I appreciate it.
So you got in the legal, for everybody that's out there that's wondering, you got in the what did you do? Worked for lawyers, right?
I did. I was a legal assistant, and I was a junior paralegal. But now I'm retired and just hanging out and looking for something to keep me busy.
I get a part-time job like I do.
Yeah, just something.
All right, roll Tide. Let's keep in touch.
Roll Tide. Take care.
Bye-bye. Well, that was interesting. Tutor in Alabama. A longtime fan. She knew Coach Bryant. She grew up in Tuscaloosa. She knew the culture. She knows a lot about Coach Bryant, more than you would think, more than most people. Let's put it that way. It was fun to have. Thanks for coming on, Sharon. It was a blast. Everybody, thanks for watching the show. Stay tuned for these messages. Without these great sponsors, it just wouldn't be possible. So long.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
75 years of service in high-tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High-tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than the simple painted brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.